I'm not monkeying around here. God, I hate that pun, but I'm not monkeying around here when I say, my goodness, Monkey Man is one of my favorite movies I've seen this year. Hello, Flickering Myth family, and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ, and we have a new movie review ahead of us. As part of my double feature, movies that I saw and reviews, we are following up The First Omen with, my goodness, I'm talking about Monkey Man. Here's a little behind the scenes news for you guys before I get into this review. Monkey Man was screened for me last night, which is like a day before it opens to the public, and they did a double feature. They did First Omen, and then they did Monkey Man. Actually, a lot of critics had this experience, so we are all coming into this with this weird, like, I saw a Satan movie, and then I saw a man, like, fight for revenge for his country and for his mother. My goodness, it was a jam-packed night, and I was so scared that Monkey Man would get lost in the shuffle. Like, it's like a directorial debut from Dev Patel. It's an action movie. I've seen John Wick's before, but whoa, I have not seen a Monkey Man before. This is a one-of-a-kind action film. Yes, it feels inspired by the new wave of action films that have, like, John Wick, Nobody, Atomic Blonde. It definitely feels like it's in those that family of action films, but it feels so original. I don't know if it's the Indian flair that Dev Patel put on it. I don't know if it's the mother-son struggle that's at the heart of this film. I don't know what it was, but it felt so unique. There's also one major thing in here I'll talk about to the end, about representation, that I was not expecting, and whoa, did not expect that from this movie. But overall, I don't know, Monkey Man was just an experience. It hit me in the face, no pun intended, multiple times with its wonderful messaging, with its good acting, with its, I will say, frantic editing and frantic, filmmaking. Sometimes I'm like, all right, chill, slow down. I'm getting a little dizzy here. We don't need to hide every fight scene. We don't need to jump. All right, calm down. I will say that the filmmaking is a bit too energetic for me. That's just a personal preference, but I think Dev Patel as a filmmaker felt confident here. As a first-time director, he came into this, and that's why I say this definitely feels like a first-time movie as well, with how experimental he wanted to make the camera shots, with some of the more surreal moments that are a bit kind of trippy and weird. All of that feels very first-time filmmaker, so I'm not really going to fault that. I think Dev Patel is going to grow as a director, because if this is his first movie, my goodness, it's only up from here. But truly, I really like what Monkey Man did with, trying to make an action film, but give it a heart and soul, give it social commentary, give it personal commentary. This movie feels deeply personal, not just for Dev Patel, but for the Indian community as well. I think this is a community, one, underserviced in mainstream films. I know Bollywood's a big thing. Indian filmmaking is not completely lost on Americans. I mean, Dev Patel got big with Slumdog Millionaire, which was like a big deal when it came out. So this isn't completely unfamiliar, but I really felt this was a new, fresh take on an action revenge movie. Again, you've seen one, you could have seen them all, but you haven't seen Monkey Man yet. I mean, if you have, you understand that I think it's pretty goddamn good. Dev Patel plays a man just named Kid. He is trying to gain revenge on a man who hurt his family, hurt the village he lived in as a kid growing up, did some pretty gross, nasty things. So basically his whole life is spent either as a jobber losing to fake wrestling boxing matches, or trying to gain his revenge. And once he gets into the position to get his revenge, that is all he is one-track minded on. But what I liked about this story is he wasn't instantly amazing at things. Now, that's not trying to spoil anything for you, but this movie takes you through a journey. Like, you think he's going to be a badass and get his revenge. He gets his ass whooped a little bit, and then he has to try to figure himself out. He lands himself at this temple. The temple gets its whole own moment to talk about. My goodness, it means so much to me. But I really loved the story that it took him a moment to get to the badassness he does. Because by the end of it, Dev Patel was like pure Keanu Reeves, just whooping people's ass, not even taking names. Like, bro, did you get stabbed and shot? Probably, but you're not feeling it because you're just kicking everyone's ass. It's definitely one of those movies, but it earns that. Because John Wick, we already know him. Oh, he's a great assassin. Atomic Blonde. We see all these movies that have, badass lead actors. I mean, if you go to the 80s with a Predator, or every Sylvester Stallone movie, all the Jean-Claude Van Dammes, they're always this, like, badass, untouchable person. Like, you just can't, they're just so good, they're on their revenge, and they're gonna get it. And, Monkey Man, Kid is kind of badass, but he takes time to get there. He has to figure out, revenge is interesting, because revenge could cloud you. I understand wanting a goal. You know what? I'm going to get help for what happened to me as a kid. I'm gonna do it. I respect that. I think revenge can be done well, but you can be very clouded by your revenge, and it can make things messy or can make you unfocused. He learns that focus and he kicks ass, and I'm so happy by the end of this movie. I'm like, oh, fuck yes. Like, oh, it's one of those movies I was just like, hell yes, you kick everyone's ass. The way he kicks ass, the ass kicking, there's moments where I was like, did he just beat that man with this? Like, he did one of my favorite moments where he puts a pan near someone's neck and hits the pan. Little moments like that where I'm like, the action is badass and brutal, but it's earned. It's not just pure wall-to-wall action. You build up, you feel emotions, you feel connected to Kid, you feel connected to his story about trying to get revenge for what happened to his mother. You all understand that. So by the time the last, 20 minutes of this movie is just one long badass fight scene, you're accepting it and you're willing it and you want it, you're craving it. There's action sprinkled throughout, but it really builds up to a wonderful, crazy set piece at the end that feels worth this entire watch. So for my Indian viewers out there, excuse my ignorance to the subject, but what this movie surprised me the most on is the handling of a trans character community. There is this moment where he has to go kind of figure himself out. Things happen and he kind of lands at a temple, and it's kind of run by a group of trans folk who kind of feel like the misfits. They're the outcast of this town, of this community. So they all kind of like come together, and he trains with these women and these non-binary folk, because I do believe the Indian community has a gender that's kind of not male or female. You're kind of just this in-between thing, which is just genius. That this group of people, this world, this culture that's been around longer than a lot of us have been around, has this gender identity that's so unique and so specific. And the way Dev Patel handles these characters, I've never seen trans folks seem so badass, so caring and loving, especially in an action movie. This is totally a community that would have been a prop. Like, I saw, what movie was it? Mayhem earlier this year, late last year, and there's trans characters there, and they're just there to kind of give the character information. He's like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable by the T-girls. Oh, they're thinking, oh, I'm so pretty. This movie was just like, there's a moment where Dev Patel takes his shirt off and all the dolls were like, yes, and I'm like, I agree, but I truly love the handling of these characters. They felt otherworldly. It didn't get like magical trans folk. You know how they have the trope within the black community of like a black character who comes and fixes everyone's issue. The trans folk don't really do that. They send him on a journey to find himself. But I love this moment. And then near the end, they kind of come and do a little bit of a fight scene, and the dolls are dolling, and I'm like, whoa. I think Dev Patel didn't have to include these characters, did not have to include the storyline, but doing so made this movie even more personal for me. Like, as a member of the queer community, you don't often see folks that are not just straight badass people be badass. Like, it's so refreshing. Like, the John Wick, I believe the Judicator from John Wick 3, was Ruby Rose, or what's her name? The one actress who's non-binary. There was a slight representation, but they didn't kind of pause to educate us. This movie paused, educated me, and then continued the ass kicking. That's exactly what I wanted. It wasn't like, here's some, nonsense for you to learn about, and that's going to be nothing. It meant something. Like, everything, every journey, every pit stop that Dev Patel's Kid went on served to put the overall story in a positive way. This movie is just so refreshing, so nice. But the trans stuff, this whole moment in the middle of this movie was what sold me and made me like a lifelong Monkey Man fan. We've seen Dev Patel grow up in the Hollywood industry, from Slumdog Millionaire to his first directorial effort with Monkey Man, and my goodness, I'm so happy he's in the industry. Wow, Dev. Wow, what a great movie. What a great time. Have you guys seen Monkey Man yet? What did you think of this movie? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Let's talk about Monkey Man. Seriously, I want you guys to see this movie. We had The First Omen come out this weekend. Still like that as well. Monkey Man, though. Monkey Man might get my I would say see both. See Monkey Man and First Omen this weekend. Both are worth watching. But Monkey Man gets that slight recommendation. If you had to do one this weekend, do Monkey Man. It's such a fun, different type of action movie. You may think you know what's going to happen, but it takes you twists and turns that are so good. So thank you guys. Comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and let's talk about Monkey Man right down below.